Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over. And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
The down music.
The right track.
In a world full of fakes, full of devious snakes, and the imposters who are monsters who create the hate. Debate, here we go. Check the next episode. It's like college, here's the knowledge on the Urban X Show.
Hello everyone, this is Daryl the Saint with the Urban X Show. Just kind of want to talk about a few things that's just been on my mind. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded something, but I feel like, people really need to change their whole perspective on the way they've been thinking, I go on the internet sometimes on Facebook and I look at a lot of serious topics, and at times I go in and I read the comments, and I really hate to do that, because when I do, I get to see just how hateful this world really is. When you're dealing with people, if it's one race, another race is always talking bad, and they categorize all the people in that particular race off of something stupid that one individual did. Or I'll see where somebody may get a ticket, and when they get that ticket, they get mad at all police. I hate all pigs. I hate all cops. The question is, were you speeding? Did you give them a reason to pull you over? And when you got the ticket, was it justified? Sometimes when we get our hands caught in a cookie jar, we just got to pay the piper, you know what I'm saying? But more or less, I like to just say, I would like to see a big change in people. Recently, I had bought the book, The Willie Lynch Letter. It was really sad from what I read when I read it, Today, we have a lot of our people just doing all kind of ignorant stuff, Team light skin, team dark skin. Skin to skin. We're about the only race that does this mess. I know a lot of Puerto Ricans who are dark and light. I never really see them doing that light and dark crap. But it all went back to the Willie Lynch page, when they brought this slave owner to America from the West Indies, who had the best control of his slaves. And a lot of slave owners would sit up here and they would kill their slaves, and he would say, that's a waste of your property. What you got to do is get into the mindset. Train them the way you would train a horse. Put the fear of God in them. When you get light slaves, because a lot of them did breed with their slaves, which, the skin became lighter, you keep them in the house. You make them think they're better than the dark ones, and you put the dark ones out in the field. You turn them against one another. So if the ones in the field are thinking about running away, the light skins will tell on them. And that's where you have a lot of controversy with a lot of blacks, where you'll hear the term house nigga, because the ones that was in the house got treated better than the ones in the dark, that were dark out in the field. And a lot of them were told you're better than this and that, which brings me to another term. Please don't come around me with that. You got good hair. That's bad hair. Really, what is good hair? Because somebody's hair isn't kinky and it's straight and curly, that labels their hair good. It's just a different texture of hair. I mean, would you actually go up to white people or Hispanic people who have straight hair and say, "Ooh, you got great hair. You got good hair." They look at you like you crazy because they realize it's just hair. Every one of them have good hair because it's straight. Yours is bad because it's kinky. It's just a different texture. It's like looking at different dogs. And because one has a particular color or one has shaggy hair like a Cocker Spaniel versus a Doberman who is short hair, you say one hair is better than the other. That's ignorance. And Willie Lynch even wrote that in the book, that his methods would be so great that they would last for hundreds of years, perhaps thousands, if they done it correctly. Well, you know what? He's absolutely right. I see a lot of our people doing the same thing this very day. They're always turned against one another. They don't stick together. I look at our celebrities, for instance. When our celebrities get rich, it's all about me, me, me. It's not about the people. We have enough rich black celebrities in this world to take about 10% of their money. Let's take someone like Oprah Winfrey, makes about $300 million a year. 10% of that is about $30 million. You take 30 million of that, and every millionaire take 10% and put it in this big pot. And you go around to small businesses that are black, and they take that money and they invest. Or they go on a block such as mine, it's really nice. And you have all these different people that are paying mortgages, and go around and just pay off everybody's mortgage. Just say they took $2 million. It was enough money to buy off all the mortgages in this neighborhood. Now those people don't have to spend about $1,100 or $1,200 on a mortgage. They can put it elsewhere. And when they get up on their feet, they start contributing to this money funding. You know, our money should touch the hands of others in our community at least 2 or 3 times before it leaves. But instead, when one gets up, they forget about the rest. They think they're better. I look at people like Birdman, walking around with $1 million grill that was in his mouth, walking around with a $2 million chain on his neck. How many people could have been fed? How many people in a hospital are dying? See, a lot of times when people take that interpretation of paying your tithes and 10%, it doesn't necessarily have to go to the church. Because if you go to Matthew, it talks about when he said, "Did you feed your brother while he was hungry? Did you give him water when he was thirsty? Did you visit him while he was in jail?" Well, when you did the least of these things to your brother, you did them unto me. So basically, when you're keeping all that money, you're eating bread. That's when Satan tried to tempt Jesus at the mountaintop with the bread, with the stones turning them to bread. And Jesus said, "No, man shall not eat bread alone." A lot of our people get all this money and they brag about it. What if all of our people got together and put that money and they started helping and investing, started uplifting, instead of opening up clubs and all of that, open up community centers. Put computers in there. There's a lot of older people that are stuck in their ways. We always see them. A lot of times they won't even buy a smartphone because they're just used to the little flip phones. And then after a certain while, they want to know how to use a smartphone. Or they might want to know how to use a computer because they're tired of that old typewriter. When you make errors, you got to use those little, what was that, whiteout strips, which I had to use when I was in college because Windows wasn't out then. But it's a lot of great ideas that we can put forth to help our people. But instead, everybody gets out and it's about me, 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 me. There's a lot of things that need to be changed. Quit talking about people's hair. This person's dark. Well, what's wrong with dark? I think dark is beautiful. If you look at a horse, a lot of times, if you got a beautiful white horse or a tall, beautiful black stallion, a lot of people are really amazed at that beautiful black horse. This isn't to put anybody white down or nothing. This is to open the eyes of my people so they can actually see the negligence, the ignorance that they're doing to one another. Nobody has to put us down. We're always putting each other down. Man, if I go down the street and I bass some loud bass, I'll begin to see a lot of young ladies in our community putting their butts in the air twerking. I work in schools. I see a lot that goes on. I'm in the hoods. I grew up out here. Let me tell you something. We need to make a change. Instead of promoting hip-hop, basically letting the media control our destiny, we can control our destiny ourselves. Let's create our own news network. That's the reason why I want to do this Urban X show. because I want to start opening up the minds. It's time to get deep. It's time to use intelligence. I am so sick of seeing rappers out here and all they rap about is negative stuff. I remember there was a time when tennis shoes like the Fat Boys, Run DMC, it was fun. Then it kind of slowly went into the gangster rap, which started destroying our community. They can get mad all they want. I care less. I'm keeping it real. Because what y'all do is y'all kind of hype this. I know it's a character. You can't make nobody pull a gun. But after a while, you know, we should mature and kind of explore other fields with it too. You know, no one wants to stay in a negative state all the time. One thing I like about Ice Cube, he started out back in, what was that, 86 with NWA. But eventually he went off to school, took up film lit, owns his own film company. I think it's something like Cube's Work. And the man puts out good films. You know, the barbershops, Friday, all kinds of stuff that sells. And he usually has some type of meaning in each one in some kind of way if you really look for it. But it's not just music. Look at Jay-Z, for instance. We know he's all for Marcy. We know the hood stuff he did, but he took his money and he flipped it. He invested in the NBA, in the New Jersey Nets, which he bought to Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Nets. He's had the Rockaware, Rock Nation. He's got his own drink. I mean, the man is smart. He's letting his money work for itself. He's not giving the system a chance to put him down. And what we need to do is get a lot more of our people to get their heads together and do the same thing. I know y'all see the same things I see. And then after the gangster rap, which pretty much dominated, because I remember when Public Enemy was coming out with the Fight to Power, a lot of people was getting educated and strong, opening their eyes. Gangster rap dominated. After the gangster rap came the Dirty South. Luke had a lot to do with that. Uncle Luke down there in, you know, Florida, you know what I'm saying? And now we got all this twerking and booty shaking music, and people don't even have enough morals. You know, it's a certain age limit to do stuff. But I go on the internet and I even see adults doing this in front of their kids, or I see a crowd of people looking at little kids 5, 6 years old twerking and doing it and go baby, yeah. How can you do that? There's no respect. What you do as an adult, you shouldn't always do it in front of these kids. Then they take it to school. Then they acting disrespectful. And then the only time y'all want to show up for parent-teacher conferences when the kid's about to get kicked out, then you got to know to get an attitude. No, you should be going there. It's not the school's job to raise your child. It's for you. It takes a village. Everyone must work together for the better of this child to become something better in society. I'm tired of thinking the only time that we can get ahead and do something is through rap music, sports, or whatever. We got to make a change, people. It's going to get real deeper. I know I touched on a lot of little subjects, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. You can stay in tune with the stuff I'm talking about. I know I got a little tongue-tied, but this is just real. I'm keeping it real, one-on-one, coming to y'all. Each topic is going to get better, because trust me, I'm going to get deep with that Willie Lynch book, because we still see it. I see so much negligence. It's ridiculous. I think Spike Lee, when he came out with that movie, I think it was about 88 or 89, called School Days, and you see how ignorant where they had jigaboos and wannabes, the light skins against the darks. That's ignorant. People are people. You think if the Klan was to come and hang some people, do you think they would care if one's light and one's dark? The thing is that we got to take the time to open up our eyes to say, you know what, enough is enough. We really ain't did nothing since King died. You think running around, protesting, tearing up your own city, that's silly to me. I know you got to, sometimes things take drastic measures and you got to do something to get some noise, but tearing up your own city to me is like me being mad at the police and taking a bat and start bashing out the windows of my own car. It's no different than tearing up the different stores and stuff in your own city. Because let me tell you what happens. I've been to cities, I'm not gonna name none, and I've seen blocks full of houses all up and down the streets, and they're abandoned. Why? Ain't no money coming in that community. That's right, I know I should have said isn't, but I said ain't, because maybe you'll get it if I say ain't. But when you tear up businesses, or when a business puts its business in your community, the insurance rates go up real high. And after a terrible riot and y'all tearing it up, a lot of times it won't come back, because then they get mad and they say, you know what if we get another riot, or what if something else goes on? They're gonna tear my business up. I'm not the problem, I'm a business owner here. We got to control ourselves. We got to stick together. We got to think better. A lot of times I see it all the times. I see a smart little kid who's smart, making good grades and everything, and he's getting picked on, calling him weak, a wimp, a nerd and everything. But then y'all sit up here and you praise a thug getting out there slanging dope, shooting dice, hanging in the hood. He's a baller, a thug with tats all over his body. But then when we get in certain crises and situations, we ain't got nobody to stand up. That's because y'all already defeated him. You crushed him. So after a while, a lot of times he say, forget it. The girls don't even want to talk to me because I'm a nerd. I might as well try to be a thug too. Forget it, I tried to go the right way. My own people wouldn't even accept me or support me. Don't you realize those are the ones who are our doctors? Those are our lawyers. Those are the people, our judges, the ones that stand up for us. God made everybody in every type of way to represent different situations. If you look at it, you can't get a computer person to get out there and fight as a warrior in a war. You'd put him behind a computer. You don't get somebody who's good at shooting a gun and fighting with them hands real good. You don't throw him behind a computer. You put him where he's best at. You get guys who are smart. We need to start promoting more. We need to start encouraging the kids who are smart, who are brilliant, the ones who are in robotics teams, the ones who are studying, the ones who hit the bookworms. Those are the ones we need. Those are the ones who become the next Obamas. Do you think he could have actually became president of the United States had he just been hanging in the hood and didn't memorize and get those degrees that he has? It's time for a change. That's one thing he got right. And I'm gonna do everything in my power to open up as many eyes as I possibly can, because now it's time for a new stand. I've been doing a lot of work and now I'm getting a lot of time that I'm gonna be off, and I got a whole lot of ideas I'm about to express to you and the world. So you guys stay in tune for the next episode, and thanks for listening to me on the Urban X Show. Peace out. One.